Vision.
Good evening, viewer. You're most welcome to the NILECAST on Westnile Television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day, every day from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name is Okumuringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines. In the headlines tonight, a City woman member of parliament donates 470 sewing machines. Businessman in Zombo district demands URA compensation of 3.5 million shillings for property damages. And landlords from Ajumani district demand payment from OPM officers for refugees living on their land. This and more in the NILECAST News Bulletin. And it's Saturday, the 24th of June, 2023, and you're most welcome to the NILECAST on Westnile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. Uganda Revenue Authority officials at Padea Customs has come on spot as a businessman in Zombo district is demanding for compensation of 3.5 million shillings damages caused to his building. URA enforcement team, while they were on their routine of crackdown in the anti-smugglers in Zombo district, they shot at a house, destroying iron sheets, roofs, timbers, ridges, among others. Alfred Jawok reports more.
The Uganda Revenue Authority officials at Padea Custom in Zombo district have come on spot as businessman in Zombo district is demanding compensation of 3.5 million shillings for damages caused to his building. Oshaya James Mave, 45 years old, a resident of Konangwen Trading Center, Chetdiang Village, Atoma Sub-County Zombo District, says Uganda Revenue Authority enforcement team, while for their routine crackdown on the anti-smugglers recently, shot at his house, destroying iron sheets on the roof, timbers, ridges, among others. Mave added that he teamed up with area chairperson LC1, Giso, and chairperson LC3 Atoma Sub-County Unegi Genaro and collected 3 cartridges and more exhibits which they have handed over to Zombo District Security.
Manyaworu kinimisa wa beach kudaki hapa. Abedu kama kako bawie. Abedu gelu. Ndo sama winji risasi moshi. Isente mwami kona ngwen. Ogamo ai wo ibinyanga ni angoti mire. Ndo sama binu. Anwang jumi revenue jumi ura mu ai padea. Ikade kubeka chidirizeu. Ndo sama giwo kisente mwaka ikona ngwen. Natural vekibeka meru kama go piki pangati moku wota dio. Donc sawa esha woi gami beka temire. Lo sama wo temire risasi mbe mocha karbe nwang dongi weko kama lwang ni iye gokyo malo dio muda ko rare pa goko malo kacha kutali gamgila ko risasi bikili yot para mabati mutie kona hoji kona ngwen benen ma madit ma ngete minyango abati en itemo ya jutie pieces maramo abora bati mutie kalad kuriji sadek kama konje selling ba mutie so dong manya urundu sama lai maja temire roka chako parba tumeni marama dek achida reporting bashama elsa dek muamira Atoma Sub-County Mr. Unegi Genaro.
According to the residents of Konangwen, a Uganda Revenue Authority team fired a number of bullets in the air after a battle ensued, among them with owners of unregistered motorcycles at the trading center. They say the bullets, which hit the rooftop, fortunately did not catch the workers who were working on Mave's selling board during the fateful morning.
Yesterday, the 20th of June,
at around 11 past 10, actually 10 past 11 a.m. in the morning. That's when we had a gunshot in Konangwen Trading Center. I was in the council session attending the passing of my sub-county. Immediately after 10 minutes, I received Mr. Mave with this complaint that the gunshot that we had actually damaged his roof. And it happened that when the smuggling unit of Uganda Revenue Authority were executing their duties, and they happened to shoot 3 bullets, which all happened to damage his roofs. The unfortunate part of it was going to be the killing that was going to take place, because he had a Marshal who was plastering the front part of the house, and the last bullet discharged exactly above where the Marshal was. So that was the most unfortunate thing, otherwise they would have even killed the man who was plastering the front part of the house.
Sylvester Chiwanoka, the Westnile Regional Manager, Uganda Revenue Authority, confirmed the incident, saying that they will harmonize the matter and that they have dispatched the team to investigate this matter.
Yes, yesterday I was in Zombo at the district headquarters where I had a fruitful meeting with the RDB and the LC5 chairperson on how to harmonize our operations. I heard about the issue. I directed that this be investigated because I had the allegation that the team is on the ground. So the team is going to investigate, and then after that we'll see what to do.
The RDC, however, implored the Uganda Revenue Authority officials to involve the district to assist them to collect taxes. Alitema observed that they can mobilize the border owners with the numberless motorcycles and talk to them to pay the taxes.
I'm wondering what type of enforcement is this? They shot 3 bullets or so. She went and hit some roof of some other business person. In that house, they were actually finishing construction works, working on the ceiling. So they were within the ceiling, and it is just very fortunate that these bullets didn't catch them. Otherwise, if they would have had a problem within our hands. So I would like to implore on the URA officials that much as they are doing their work, please involve also the district.
Bolingo Francis, the district councillor for Tuma Sub-County, has condemned Uganda Revenue Authority for employing military personnel to collect revenue. It tasked the LC5 chairperson and RDC officers to ensure Uganda Revenue Authority pay all the expenses to fix the roof of Mave's building.
For me, I'm not happy as a district councillor representing a Tuma Sub-County. I want to thank Mave for coming to the district. The issue was raised before LC5 and RDC was there. Now I'm tasking the LC5 and RDC to follow this issue. Good enough, the LC5 have talked to the manager of URA, and they have agreed to pay 3.5 million so that the house can come back, and let the URA not use the military and the police. It is the work of police and militaries to defend and protect the people of Uganda with their property. And now what they have done to shoot the house was unlawful.
Recently, staff from Uganda Revenue Authority were attacked by angry mob in Zombo Town Council over their numberless motorcycles. In the process, 2 of the staff were injured and the door screen of the vehicle smashed, among other damages. For Westnile TV, Alfred Jawok, NILECAST.
And more in our stories for the evening. The woman member of parliament for Arua City, Honorable Maureen Osuru, yesterday surprised the people of Arua City again with 470 sewing machines that are to be used for promoting skillings the youth in the city. The event that was graced by Honorable Obigat Mario Kanya attracted thousands of people living in Arua City. Dennis Oringi reports more.
Thousands of Arua City residents yesterday turned up in big numbers for the launch of 470 sewing machines procured by the woman member of parliament Arua City, Osoro Maureen. At midday, the gate to Ondoparaka Primary School playground was already overwhelmed by the number of people, and as well as the football pitch was already full to its capacity with people who turned to witness the launch of the sewing machines. Before the arrival of the chief guests, the people were entertained by both the local artists and the traditional dancers who kept the function lively. about 3 p.m., a team of members of parliament led by the regional NRM whip Jackson Liatima, also the Central Division MP, joined the woman member of parliament Osoro Morin as she launches the sewing machine, and each praising her for her corporate responsibility that she is doing to the constituents.
Maureen is a very talented lady. The first time I met Maureen, I learned many things from her, and it is why I've moved from Buganda to Arua. Congratulations, Maureen, and the people of Arua City. Maureen, thank you for sacrificing your savings. Leadership is a sacrifice. We have been together since the last parliament, and I'm sure that I will come back to support. Anytime Osoro calls me, I don't even see whether it is NRM or FDC, I just come for development. Coming here to Arua, it is because of love. It is the love that I had that Momo has for all of us in Parliament. And you be to come at such a function, it must be the good working relationship with Momo. In 2026, the energy you see in Maureen is still needed in Parliament. When you look at all the faces here, they are young faces. Therefore, our future is bright with young people in Parliament. Amava faloro city chama faloro erangubano mvele cosmopolitan deneni eribaworo ai amamazikiti okoro amani bakia izu city amani badi ya iria le amamakuke amakala seku amamasiki city madrama beko city maufika na makuro deneba.
While speaking to the gathering in local language in order to make the locals understand, the woman member of parliament says the 470 sewing machines will be given to all the cells located in Arua City and should be used for skilling the youth at the cell level, and she also calls upon the youth to make good use.
Arua City, ala yok ni charani turusu kaliezili baya mutarandi awadini. Anira cells mapikituru sukaliezili te security yorisi angani yo amaditarani ba village ala malaje oroni niko badinga tarandi ba word alo alivusi ikanirami word malia village kimudri, that means the taranda mudri. Ikanirami word malia Sanski kaliku village kalinirieni lakini secharale nifida kaliniri training ba muba kalin training pindeke eringadri leadership mini nele bingari kili dakaka ani chote amani okui yufu bema nyarelefu woda malia ameton yokina moja faniba former Adumi sub-county, former Ifni sub-county, former Oli sub-county, former Arua sub-county, former Arua sub-county, Neko Angurazoki Minizozo.
The launch that was expected to be graced by the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, Right Honorable Anita Monk, was then graced by the State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Obiga Mario Kania, who is also the Member of Parliament for Terego East in Terego District. Kania, on behalf of the Speaker, congratulates the woman Member of Parliament Arua City for leading by example and fulfilling what she promised during campaigns.
I have the honor to launch these 470 sewing machines to the beneficiaries who will be the youth and the women at the ward levels in the mighty Arua City. Congratulations to Honorable Maureen Osoro.
It should be noted that this is not the first time that the woman member of parliament Arua City is extending her support to the people of Arua. In 2020, before the creation of Arua City and other newest districts in Westnile, the woman member of parliament donated 6 ambulances to the 6 constituencies then, and also recently she donated over 20 hospital beds to health center 3s and 4s located in the city. Dennis Orengi, Westnile TV, NILECAST.
More in our stories for the evening, the Office of the Refugee Desk in Adjumani District has raised concerns on the landlords asking for payment for the refugees sitting on their land from the Office of the Prime Minister. This was revealed during the commemoration of the World Refugee Day at Majai Settlement Camp in Adjumani District. Let's have more on that story.
The Office of the Refugee Desk Adjumani is not happy landlords who gave land to the refugees for settling. Mr. Jogotaitas, the Refugee Desk Officer Adjumani, on his speech on World Refugee Day celebration day in Maji 3 Primary School, said that he is not happy to landlords who gave land for refugees to settle on, demanding his office with some lawyers that he should give them something again for the lands where the refugees are settling.
It's not only the operating policy, but where in Uganda, the government has secured that there's the physical security and the protection of refugees and their properties. That the Ghanaians see outside it, you properties that you have acquired are for you when you are away from home. The people of Uganda, more especially Adjumani, where we have over 200,000 refugees, have also brought hope to the southern refugees because they have accepted to share the limited resources that they have. I don't think you need this local support to discuss or to engage with OPS. I spoke on that meeting that I had at Oxygen before lawyers. In case you want to engage me any further, I'm willing to do it, but not at gunpoint, not before lawyers. I will not do it.
Adrupio Hairiniapi, the District Secretary for Finance, Adjumani District Local Government, thanks the government of Uganda for accepting refugees in the country, and this made the host district, especially Adjumani District, benefiting more in other projects.
I want to request, let us share the small resources so that our people will be able to farm. They are talking that they have mentioned very many issues here, but saying that the RDO is now going off, paying little or 80% or nothing. But I'm asking my people, we can sustain ourselves through farming.
Ms. Iris Blom, UNHCR Head Office, Adjumani, said that Adjumani District hosts over 2 million refugees and is the highest district in Uganda who hosts the large number of the refugees.
Uganda, in refugee protection, Uganda has been invited as a co-convener for the Global Refugee Forum that is taking place in December 2023. It is hosting over 209,000 refugees, the largest number of refugees in any of the districts in Uganda. Globally, Uganda is a model country as it continues applying an open-door policy to asylum seekers and refugees. But today we remember that millions of people have been uprooted by conflict around the world and who are still waiting to return home. It is also a day where humankind celebrates the spirit of never giving up, meaning resilience despite our shortcomings. Agencies, NGOs, distinguished elite settlements. The theme of this year's World Refugee Day is Home Away from Home. A world where refugees are included.
Reporting for Westnile TV, Onjima Alani, Ajumani, NILECAST.
And more in our stories for the evening. Honorable Cecilia Ogwao, the woman member of parliament for Dokolo District, who was in the delegation of the 65th session of the African, Caribbean and Pacific Parliamentary Assembly, was cited presenting one key issue on how Uganda's decision to ascend the anti-homosexuality law must be respected, as it took serious consultation to arrive at that decision. The Iron Lady from the opposition, who says she's not partisan outside Uganda and is described as the mother of women movement, has called upon the ACP EU Assembly to understand the reason behind the law and to support the move. Let's have more on that story.
Mr. President, I would like to address this committee on the issue of homosexuality bill that was passed in April by the Parliament of Uganda, and I sent it to by His Excellency the President in May this year. The passing of this bill has caused a lot of excitement across the world. Mr. President, sir, the law against homosexuality was first introduced in Uganda's status books by the British colonial government to protect unsuspecting Ugandan youth from being initiated into the act by foreigners. Mr. President, sir, and honorable members, the fact of the matter is that the new law was conceived to criminalize the promotion of and commercialization of homosexuality, mainly targeting innocent children in schools and vulnerable persons in our society, including physically disabled and mentally impaired persons. The practice had become rampant with reported promises for scholarship for children who adopted the practice. Several cases of children with injuries in their anuses and infected with HIV as a result were reported across the country. Other targets were the unemployed youth with promises for jobs and visas, among other initiatives. This necessitated the enactment of this law to protect these vulnerable persons in our society. No country will condemn pedophiles in its country. No country will condemn the advantage that people are taking upon our vulnerable children. Mr. President, sir, the law criminalizes only violent homosexual acts and activity among especially children and vulnerable persons. The law provides for rehabilitation of all those who have been declared homosexual but are willing to come out of it willingly. We want to emphasize here that the law does not target those who are born homosexual, but those who have been initiated into the act as explained above. Parliament of Uganda, during the consultation with experts on this matter, have established the following. First, that homosexuality is not genetically determined. No scientist has proved this. Second, it is a form of mental state, it has been confirmed, and it needs rehabilitation for the victims. Third, it has never been a way of life in our society in Uganda and strange to our culture and tradition. Fourth, it is against the teaching of religion and our practices, and you all know all leaders in Uganda from the president to the lowest level have to swear by the Bible and the Quran before they take any office. Mr. President, it is a practice in Uganda now targeting vulnerable children and the disabled. After the enactment of this act, there have been a lot of misinformation about law that Parliament of Uganda has passed. We would wish to clarify, therefore, that this law does not criminalize persons who simply dress or appear to look like homosexuals. In addition, the law imposes the death penalty for aggravated offenses. I want to repeat, aggravated sexual offenses for both homosexual and heterosexuals, not for homosexual only. Aggravated sexual offense against homosexual and heterosexuals. Mr. President, take note of this. The law upholds the value of culture of Uganda as enshrined in our constitution, and therefore geared towards establishing the family life and promotion of human dignity with upright morals. Finally, Uganda delegation therefore implores fellow OACP and EU members to understand the reason behind this law and to support this move and promote the same in their countries. We join this partnership not to lose our sovereignty. I repeat, we join this partnership not to lose our sovereignty. We strongly implore this assembly not to allow the issue of polygamy and the issue of homosexuality to become a precondition for trade agreements and a basis for sanctions. Uganda strongly condemns resolution passed by the EU Parliament on the 20th of April this year, threatening sanctions against Uganda for protecting its children, its vulnerable children, protecting our children from injuries on their anuses, for protecting our children from being taken advantage of. Uganda is being threatened to undergo sanctions by the EU partner. You the ACP EU group, we implore you to stand by Uganda. This is a vice which will start with Uganda but will end by you. We must stand up and prove we are a sovereign country. We are not going to be allowed to be dictated to when we are protecting our vulnerable children. Uganda therefore pledges to remain steadfast in its commitment to uphold, promote, and protect the human rights of its national and other individuals living in the country. This is in accordance with our constitution. I beg to submit, Mr. President.
And to end our NILECAST for the evening, the children and relatives of the late Honorable Justice Mary Stella Amoko Arach have filed a counter proposal to the agreement from the mediation between the members of family of the late for the deceased to be buried at Arua Public Cemetery. In the counter proposal, the children and relatives have maintained the decision that the deceased should be buried at Jukia Hill Ward, Juba Village, Nebi District, as per her dying wish. Today, the case was presented again at the Family Division of the High Court. And with that story, viewer, we've come to the end of the NILECAST on Westnile Television. Thank you for being with us from the beginning of the NILECAST to the end of the NILECAST on Westnile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name is Okumringa Christine. Have a good evening.